Before anyone says anything about me looking like a grandma, hold your tongue. I mean, I don't care if you roast me, but listen, this gown is so special to me because it came from my great grandmother who passed away at the age of 97 in 2020, and she is like the smartest person that I know. The fact that she's 97 and she could recount previous presidencies from like things that we learned in history class, and she just had it all the way there. She could tell you about the civil rights movement. Like, there was nothing mentally that got her down. Her body was just like, you know what, we gotta go, we gotta escape the planet. But this is special to me because it belonged to my great grandma. So if you want to say anything, take it up with her.
Okay, let's try this.
Fun fact, I got sunburnt above my lip. So if my upper lip looks greasy as heck, it's because I'm trying to get it to heal up and not peel or not look like I have dry snot. I wanted to make this quick little chit chat video about teaching. I quit. We've talked about it, or like, this is not really news because I've mentioned how much I want to quit. If not on here, on the podcast, if not on the podcast, on the blog, if not on the blog, on Instagram, like, I'm consistently mentioning, get me out of this profession, okay? Today, I wanted to discuss my likes, my dislikes, and what my plans are. Now, this may be helpful to someone who is lateral entry and considering going into teaching because, you know, why not? Quickly, I want to explain what lateral entry is. Lateral entry is anyone who has, you know, a degree or qualification, certifications, or whatever it is in their field, but you don't have a degree in teaching. I have a degree in interior architecture and a minor in radio and film production, but I don't have a degree in teaching, so I have to go through this different route of getting my licensure and certification and things like that. I've explained it a lot before, and if you want more details about it, I definitely wouldn't mind going into more details. Just like, let me know. But I also don't want to be a broken record and explain the whole financial breakdown and everything again, because I've done it like quite a few times here on the internet. But I just wanted to quickly explain, like, that's what lateral entry is, and that's the kind of teacher that I was, in case I use those words a lot. Some things that I have learned, just very quickly before I get into my likes and dislikes, is that North Carolina is one of the worst states to teach in, and I've definitely learned that the hard way just because of the finances, the legislature. So I know I have teachers in my family, I know people who are in the education system. They're in different states, and their pay, their treatment, what the government does for them in those states is way better than what North Carolina does for its teachers, and just the overall program for lateral entry teachers and beginning teachers. So I definitely learned the hard way that this is not the state to teach in, but there are some things that I did like about teaching that I wanted to share really quickly. First and foremost, the relationship that you can develop with the kids. Ooh. In case you're new, I taught at 2 schools in my 1 year of free teaching, and there are students at the first school I taught at that I love to pieces and that I check in on, and there are students at the school now that I cried at their graduation. Just the relationship and watching them grow and being able to be there for them, it's just so beautiful. The school that I'm at now, when I was getting observed, a couple of people who were doing my observations, they were like, you can tell that you have such a strong relationship with your students. And I was like, thank you. But for me, the way that I developed these relationships, there's 2 things that I did. I listened. Teenagers just want to be heard, and they develop really good relationships with teachers who make an effort to hear them. Second thing that really helped our relationships, I am honest. I am incredibly honest. Whether they ask for my opinion or not, I'm saying it. If I'm not saying it with my mouth, y'all know my face is saying it. I think that not enough people are honest. And I also think that sometimes, and maybe I wasn't supposed to do this, but you know, I don't teach anymore, so it's fine. But I would tell these kids about themselves. I always feel like I'm not doing a good job, and that's just the imposter syndrome that I'm consistently fighting. But there's times when I left my previous school, I mean, I got like all sorts of different gifts that were amazing. I got a rabbit named after me, and that will always be my greatest flex. The school that I'm at now, Teachers Appreciation Week came, and you know, this kids didn't even know it was happening, and I didn't expect anything. And I got so many thank you cards. Another thing that I really liked about teaching compared to when I worked at the design studio is that I was allowed to be myself. I had freedom to be myself. I can have tattoos, which I could at the design studio, it was fine, but I could have piercings. But I think the thing with it is like, I talk a lot. Don't know if you guys have gathered. To be able to have the freedom to be myself, to be opinionated, to be expressive, to be loud. That was one thing. I was like kind of scared to be loud at my previous profession. And now I can be loud, I can be quiet, I can show myself and just really be who I am. And the amount of people, both students and fellow teachers, who have made me feel comfortable with being myself, amazing. And it's done wonders just for my self-love journey, and I appreciate them so much. The last couple of likes that I have are for the school that I'm at specifically. The support from administration, support that I get from admin is amazing. If I'm suspicious of a student, if this is happening, I can go to them and the situation is resolved, and they're always, you know, ready to tell you, you know, this is how you can improve, but they don't do it in a way that makes you like feel like the worst person ever, and they also don't do it in a way that's like racially charged. If you have good administration, it makes it so much easier to be a teacher. Now for the dislikes that I had as far as being a teacher goes, especially in North Carolina. Cell phone obsession. And I know, like, I'm literally using my phone right now, and you can have the phone as a resource. You can't be up my butt about your grade and how you didn't actually learn in this class and da 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 when you sat in the back with your head bowed watching TikToks. Cell phone obsession is crazy. We can try to regulate it as much as possible as far as like individual teachers go. And that was the rule at both the school that I'm at now and the school that I came from. But if there is not a school-wide rule, a school-wide regulation, there's only so much we can do as teachers as far as cell phones. I reached a point, and a lot of people would warn me like later on down the line we get to this point where like you just stop caring and da da da. I didn't care in the first place. And I told my students, like, if you're not gonna care, I'm not gonna care. I love putting in zeros. I love taking points away. There's something so satisfying about watching people's grades drop. And that might be mean, but it's the truth. And if you're gonna disrespect my rules, if you're not gonna pay attention, I'll do it in a heartbeat. I don't care. Another dislike is just the financial part of it. And I'm not talking about the pay and the whole like $6,000 for your licensure. Like, I'm not talking about that, but I'm talking about there's systems in place to financially help teachers get what they need as far as like their classes and different things like that go, but it's not enough. Right there, I am pointing at a stack of receipts. All those receipts are things that I bought for my classroom and students in 2024. Last year in the fall, I spent $1,000 on students because they just simply, it's okay, cool, you're not gonna pay us enough, fine. But now you're expecting us to take our crappy little once a month paychecks to buy things that we need for these students or to teach our curriculum and pay our bills. You're wild. Wild. The BT program in North Carolina is horrible. It is disorganized, it is stressful as heck, and it does nothing to benefit teachers the way I think they think that it is beneficial to teachers. All it does is create a level of stress and annoyance that we don't need. Like, we're already trying to figure out our school's rules, how we're gonna teach this curriculum, how we're gonna, you know, manage our classrooms, because classroom management is such a big thing. But then you wanna add the BS that is the BT program on top of it. No. So I told you my likes, I told you my dislikes. What am I doing now? Because I'm not a teacher, and I didn't really like working in the design field, and I'm technically unemployed, especially this summer. Just gonna read what I wrote. After going on various interviews and even trying to leave the state to obtain some jobs and taking interviews in Virginia, I took a pay cut to work in the library at the school that I work at now. And I love the school that I'm at so much. I love the location of it. And I was like, I will make it work. I will make the pay cut work, whether it be a second job or whatever. But I'm really hoping, I have this plan and I'm working with my friend on this plan so we can get something going as far as me being able to do what I love creatively and work as a librarian. So if I can get that going, then all's well and I don't have to get a job at Sheets or whatever the case may be. But I had to take a pay cut to work in the library. I love books and I love my students. I want to continue to be a safe space for them. Yeah, I quit teaching. That's my plan. And I am excited about this new chapter. I'm excited that I get to stay in the education system and I still get to have these just like wonderful breaks. Again, financial stress, but we don't talk about her. We don't talk about her. We acknowledge her, but we don't talk about her. If you stay to this point in the video, you're absolutely insane, but I love you for it. Thank you for listening to me chit chat and talk about what it's been like teaching in North Carolina. And if you are thinking about pursuing a career in teaching, especially as someone who's lateral entry, all I can do is wish you good luck. But anywho, I'm still wearing my grandma's gown, so I guess I should go put some clothes on and keep figuring out my sunburn lip. Talk to you guys next week. Bye.